Are you surprised, Joy, that the gender bill seems to be again facing some turbulence, given this is the third time it's gone to Parliament?
I'm not surprised. I wish I would have been surprised, but I'm not surprised because there's several things that come to the fore when we talk about the gender bill. Let me start with the hypocrisy of it all. At the same time, the MPs were talking about increasing their parks, and one of the things they want to do is to have better health care or better insurance that caters for their extra wives and their extra children. But when it comes to women representation, we become slay queens and we become annexures and addendums. And it's absolute ridiculousness. It just brings forth the patriarchal nature of our society, where women leadership is taken as tokenism. It's a gift. These women's seats are a gift to these women. And it's absolute ridiculousness. All it is affirmative action. This particular bill even had a sunset clause. After 20 years, it was going to be phased out. So it's not something for perpetuity. It's one of those things that's supposed to help people understand that women as able leaders as men, sometimes even better leaders than men. But of course, the men, in their greater wisdom or lack of it, decided that they're going to shoot this thing down because it is going to be reserved for slay queens. I mean, who cares if it is reserved for the slay queens if they go ahead and actually demonstrate able leadership? Because we have had some men who are in leadership who are absolutely atrocious at the job. Absolutely. They are not a poster child for male leadership either.
How do you see this being achieved? This is the third time that it's being put before the House. Yesterday it was lack of numbers that made it basically strategic. Yes, a strategic lack of numbers. But how do you see this being overcome? Because come February, we could still be sitting and saying the same things we're saying now.
Remember the decision by Judge Mativo in the life of the last Parliament. If Parliament is not properly constituted, it always runs the risk of being dissolved. If somebody decides to go back to court and declare it unconstitutionally formed and then to go back to the polls, then that is what's going to happen. It's going to cost Kenyans more money to elect people again. But it's one of those conversations, I agree with Honorable Kira, it has to be had soberly. In Kenya, if you're saying that it's going to be a formula, the women have presented several formulas. The ones of rotating the counties. We have tried to suggest mixed member proportional representation. We've tried to make even suggestions of now let the parties be the ones disciplined into producing or nominating enough women. Because sometimes that's where it starts. Not many women get the ticket, so not enough women get to the polls. But all these things have been shot down by this same patriarchal mentality of you can, because it's democracy, let the people decide. But at the same token, actively suppressing the voice of women in political party space.
All right, Honorable, what do you see as the way forward?
Before I address the issue of the way forward, I think we need to look at where the problem is. And with all respect to women, actually I love women. I love my mother. I love my wife. I have a very pretty daughter whom I love. She's a girl. And I expect her to grow up to a grown-up woman. But I would say this without any fear of contradiction. Women are the enemy of themselves. Enemy of themselves. Why would... Because when you look at the statistics, especially in Mwingi Central, let me talk of Mwingi Central, where I come from.